Now, Jay Miller, Director of Golf Course Operations. You're a former pro player, though, right?
I tried, yes.
You tried. And then Tom Landers, publisher of Golf Magazine, very good friends of ours. We do a lot of golf tournaments, and we end up always playing with these two guys. But now that it's Masters Week, we wanted to bring you in and get your expertise on what's going on at the Masters. But I love the history more.
Flattered to be here.
I love the history more, Mr. Miller. And start with, how many times have you played Augusta yourself?
123 rounds.
How do you get invited?
Exactly. And how do you know the number right off the top of your head like that?
I kept track. And in fact, my member and dear friend that's passed away was Coach Frank Broyles, the famous football coach from Arkansas. And very interesting story. Cliff Roberts was a very wealthy man from Mr. Cliff, they called him. And he was the czar. There's only been 6 czars of Augusta National in the history. And he was the czar that started Augusta with Bobby Jones in 1933, built by Dr. Alistair McKenzie. Long story short, Coach won the national championship in '64, and he's a guest with Mr. Cliff in '65, and President Eisenhower's on the property. And President Eisenhower's partner came down with the tummy flu, and he needed a partner for bridge. So President Eisenhower went to Mr. Cliff and said, I understand Coach Broyles is a good bridge player. And he said, don't share this with anyone, but Coach Broyles is a master bridge player. So he says, can I borrow him? And this is back in 1965. They won $70-something playing bridge. And President Eisenhower went to Mr. Cliff and said, I think we should invite Coach Broyles to be a member here. So he joined in '67. A lot of people don't know this. They know that he announced football with Keith Jackson and so forth. But Coach actually handed out the green jacket 7 years in the Butler cabin with Mr. Cliff.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All over bridge.
So anyway, how does this relate to 123 times that Jay Miller
played?
played?
You get
And
invited
let everybody know, if you've ever played behind this particular foursome, now you know why we're holding you up on the tee. But go ahead. Get back to 123 times.
So 2001, a good friend of mine sat on the board of directors for the International Foundation of Junior Golf. That invited 50 countries sponsoring 2 children, juniors, to come to the United States and play in a major tournament, all paid for. And they're out of money. And Bill tells Coach, who's the chairman that year, I've got a friend of mine that just bought a golf course, and he's got a lot of wealthy friends with jets. Maybe he can help you out. So next thing you know, I was telling Tom the story is the phone rings, and my office that I'm sharing with some venture capital people, and Bobby walks in. He just got a jet, and on the speakerphone's Frank Broyles. And Bobby's like, what the heck is that Coach? I'm like, yeah, I'll be in a little bit. So Coach tells me the story. He's like, Jay, we need your help. And I'm like, let's cut to the chase, Coach. What do you need? He goes, I need $100,000. And I said, now, I understand that if I can raise $100,000, me and the other donors get to come to Augusta National. He goes, minimum of 3 days and 2 nights, but you got to have a jet. I said, oh, I got friends with jets. So I go into Bobby's office. And I tell him what happened, and he gets in his drawer, opens up the drawer, writes out a check to the International Foundation for Junior Golf for $50,000. We call another buddy that's a venture capitalist, and we're like, Donnie, Jaybird's going to come over and give him a check for $50,000 for the International Foundation of Junior Golf. And Donnie's like, what the heck would I do that for? And he goes, because we're going to Augusta in 2 weeks. So next thing you know, I call Coach back. I said, I got $100,000 in my hand. Right now, we're Federal Expressing it out. Coach goes, okay, you fly into Fayetteville with your jet and stay at our house, get a tour of the campus. And we flew out that night late, got to Augusta, had dinner, and if you're with Coach Broyles, you are on the first tee every day he's there. You got the first tee time.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Like what is it, 6 a.m.?
No, it's 7:30, 7:45. Okay. Yeah, so if I was the member and took you 3 down there, you've got to write a resume about your golf ability, your family, your history, and so forth.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So you get on the first tee, and there are at least 4 groups waiting to see Coach play and or tee off and talk to you. So there's 2 head golf professionals at Augusta, not 1. And both of them would be on the first tee, and they would talk to you, Rob, and Ben, and Tom, go over your history and so forth, where you play out of, where you live, et cetera, and I'm the last one. And there's 16 guys behind me, and I'm 41 years old, and I'm a +2 handicap, and I can still move it. But you are so nervous You can't feel your legs. I mean, you couldn't pound a number 9 nail up my rear end with a jackhammer. You're so nervous. And I can't pull the trigger. And I back away, and I turn to Big Ike. I'm like, Big Ike, what's it to carry that bunker on the right? He goes, 265. I'm like, okay. I am aiming nowhere near that bunker. I'm aiming down the left center, trying to hit a high block cut. And I bomb this thing, but I push it 25 yards, dead straight push. Flies these bunkers. And everybody turns to coach and goes, who is this guy? And I was like a 10th team high school All-American. Went to college at Purdue on a golf scholarship, and we won the Big Ten my senior year. Coach tells everybody, he goes, he's a high school All-American and won the Big Ten championship
Damn
for
right.
Purdue. So off we go, and if I got to keep going. So I hit wedge on the middle of the green, and Bobby Rob and Benny, you're the other two guests. So Big Ike, caddy in the Masters, I said, Big Ike, I would like to read the greens myself, then you tell me where to putt it. I got about a 35 footers, a little bit downhill, left to right, and I said, Big Ike, I got 6 feet outside left, and it looks fast. And he goes, that's what you got? I said, yeah. And he walks over with the pin, points to a spot, and he goes, it's 18 feet left of the pin. He goes, only 10 feet away from me. And he goes, you need to stop it almost here. So you and Benny are behind me. I hit this putt, and they're like, Jaybird, that looks pretty good. It gets to that point, and all 4 caddies look at me and said, welcome to Augusta National, and this ball went 30 yards down the middle of the fairway. I made they gave me a 6-footer for double bogey. I broke 80 the first time, but yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
About Augusta National. Even though the TV shows how beautiful it is, the topography and the elevation changes, you just can't grasp unless you play there.
Tom Landers, Golf Magazine. You're the publisher of this magazine. Now, you don't know as much as Jay about Augusta and Masters in particular, but you know all about Northeast golf and golfing in the New England. By the way, talk about your card and how you can buy the card from the Golf Magazine and play so many golf courses in this area for such a discount rate. But then I want to put you on the spot and give me the courses around here that are like so pristine that maybe they're not quite Augusta National, but the greenskeepers take really good attention to this. And you just know off the top of your head when you're telling somebody to golf around New England, that's like one of the prettiest places to golf. Which ones do you tell them?
Well, I'll first start with our golf pass. So Golfing Magazine, we have a discount golf certificate. There's 116 golf courses on it that are throughout Connecticut, Mass, Rhode Island. In Connecticut, there's 45 golf courses. Some of the courses you'll know are Blackledge, Mohegan Sun, Gillette Ridge, Timberland, Stanley, Whitney Farms. And then we've got over 38 courses in Massachusetts, including the Ranch, Crump and Fox, the Captains out on the Cape, Dennis Pines on the Cape, Crystal Lake and Newton Commonwealth up in Boston. So typically, you get deep discounts at all these golf courses. You typically can play Monday through Thursday anytime you want and weekend afternoons. It costs $49.95 to subscribe, and if anyone's interested, you can look at freegolf.net. You'll see all the golf courses there.
I think if
all
you
the
play
discounts
twice,
get.
you make your money back. Like if you play twice, you get the discounts a much for the $50 that you pay for the card.
Typically, yes. There's some courses you play once and you get your money back.
Right.
So
Which ones? I'm putting you on the spot. You know, I know you're so nice to all these golf courses around here, but which one would you point to an outsider like this one, man? This is the one that's pristine.
Well, I think one of the things unique with our golf passes, you get access to private courses too. So a course like Tumblebrook in Bloomfield, you can play.
Wow, just
So-
talking about that one, yeah.
So you're a member for a day at Tumblebrook. You get go up and they get $75 to play, and normally it's about $150 to play at Tumblebrook.
There you go.
There's a course down in Monroe, Connecticut, down towards Fairfield. It's called the Club at River Oaks, and seeing its Masters Week, Phil Mickelson said this is his favorite course in Connecticut. It's a private club, and you get access through our golf pass to play the Club at River Oaks.
There you go.
Some of the other courses I love, Blackstone National outside of Worcester, the Ranch, great golf course. Kind of, you're talking about public kind of golf courses that have conditioning like you want to see at Augusta.
Back to you, Jay. Tell us about some of the things like the sandwiches and some of the traditions. And one of my favorite things is the winner gets to have dinner the next year.
Plans the menu.
He plans the menu. And this year, Scotty Scheffler planned the menu. Give us a little background into When did that start? When did they even start giving out these green jackets? And what's the tradition with the jacket?
I would love to share that. A lot of people don't know. So Bobby Jones wins the Grand Slam, the British Amateur, the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, and the British Open. And 31 years old, he retired. And 2 years later, him and Mr. Cliff bought the property, designed the golf course, and in 1934 they started the Masters tournament. Okay, but Mr. Cliff wanted it to be called the Masters, and they started off as Augusta National Invitational Tournament. Mr. Jones thought it was too prestigious to name it that. 5 years later, he caved. So since 1949, it's been called the Masters. And in 1952 is the first time that they started the Champions Dinner. That was the year Ben Hogan won. So the winner gets to set his own menu, from entree to salads to the main course. Like Scotty had Texas chili, firecracker shrimp, 22-ounce cowboy steak, and then a chocolate chip cookie the size of a hubcap that's heated with ice cream on top.
Love it.
Okay, so the green jacket, though, started in 1949. So say Benny wins the Masters this year.
Yeah.
He can take his jacket home for a year.
A year?
Yeah.
It's not mine forever?
No,
Oh, no, it's
God, no.
it's yours for it.
God, no. I
You
won the
didn't know this?
tournament.
Wait a
No.
minute.
No,
It's
no.
yours forever.
Yeah. Right.
But for 1 year, you get to go on the Rob Dibble Show if it's televised with your jacket on, the Tonight Show or whatever.
Okay.
Then after that year, it goes into the champions locker room with your name on a locker. That's why when you see the players, the past champions, come into the clubhouse for the champions dinner, they're in a nice slacks, a shirt, and a tie. They're going up top to get their their jacket.
I kind of
The
like
tradition.
it.
So
So,
yeah,
it gets to go back. It's like the Stanley Cup, except you get it for a year.
It's like
You
we're
can take it
sharing
wherever you want.
bicycles, except we keep it at my house.
Real quick, anybody ever try to make a duplicate jacket and give a fake back and keep the real one? Because I know I would do that.
Exactly.
No, but there is a story about a member stealing a jacket to borrow to take to a dinner
Ooh,
party.
how bad is that?
It was kind of bad, and the member is no longer a member. And here's another.
You got rules at Augusta, sir.
Here's another interesting thing is, so Rob Dibble, back when he's 255 pounds, he's got a triple X blazer. Now, they are custom fit to him, right? And then Rob loses 30 pounds, and he's still a past champion, still playing, because you get to it. Back in the old days, you got to play until
And I just did this on Awaken 180, by the way.
you're stealth, man.
Slim.
So what happens is Rob goes back, and
My jacket don't fit.
jacket's too big.
Yep.
They'll make Rob another jacket to put in his champion's locker.
Awesome.
What happens to the other jacket?
They'll save it in case
Okay.
a big guy wins. But yeah, yeah.
This
You're
is
wasting
fantastic.
money
I
around
mean,
there.
This is fantastic.
Coach Broyles, of course, if you're a member on property, you wear your blazer, your green jacket to dinner. You have to. That's one of the rules. And I was on property probably 68 days in 11 years. And Coach wouldn't let me try on his jacket to get my picture taken in the cabin once. And one time he fell asleep, and we were thinking about it, and the guys are like,
No,
don't do
don't
it, Jay.
do it.
Really?
You won't be
Yeah.
invited
Wow.
back.
Wow, and
do
you
it.
held back.
Yeah.
Look at you, sir.
And see, the other thing is, back in the day, before they changed the rules, if I'm the member and I take you three as a guest,
Yeah.
and I play 36 holes and I want to go take a nap or something, you guys could keep playing without me. Okay? Now that rule's changed, and the average member is 60-something, 70 years old, so they might play 18 holes, and they got three young guests in the 40s. All you can do is go play the par 3, which was redone for $14 million, or hit balls. You can't go keep playing. And there was one day I was telling Tom the story about me and Bobby. One of our guests, we played 36 holes, and Coach and the other guest from Pine Valley call it quits. And me and Hoffer, we get a cart, And we got Carl Jackson, the most famous caddy ever in the history of Augusta National, just celebrated his 52nd year there. And off we go. And there's nobody on the property but us playing golf. So we played 18 holes in about an hour and 20 minutes. And we tee off on number 10. And we play 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We realized nobody's out here. We played 12, 13, 14 8 times. So we get up to
awesome.
and we get to number 18 green. We played 83 holes, and my goal is to play 100 in one day to be the first person to ever do this. And coach is coming out of the clubhouse. He's got his blazer on, and Coach Broyles is like 6'4", Georgia boy with great accent. And he comes down and he goes, "Boys, how many holes y'all played today?" I'm like, "Coach, I know what you're thinking, but we got an hour and 50 minutes before they close the doors in the dining room. We can play 18 holes. We won't even putt out. Or we need to play 17 holes. Won't even putt out, and it'll make 100 holes." And he turns to us. He goes, "Boys, the course is getting tired. Why don't y'all come in now?" So we're walking off to the cabin, and Bobby says, "Jaybird, do you understand what Coach just said to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah. Get the heck off my golf course."
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love having you guys in, man, especially during Masters Week. We could do this all day with Jay Miller, man. This is how it is on the golf course with you. So much fun to play with you guys, but always great to have you guys in the studio and do some radio with us, as you usually are out on the golf course doing this kind of stuff. So you're in our world now. But before we let you guys run away, I need some picks. Who do you think's going to win this thing? It's early enough. I'll give you a little hint. Corey Connor's doing good. Terrell Hatton, both them at the top of the leaderboard. Scotty Scheffler, he's looking good right now. But who do you guys like in this thing? Tom, who are you leaning on that you either want to see win or think is going to win?
I think it's going to be hard to root against Scheffler, but I think Joaquin Niemann's playing really well
That's
right
one
now.
of my picks, yeah.
And I think if he putts well, he's probably the best ball striker out there. I think he has a chance to win this tournament.
Speaking of ball striking, the hell does that mean? I mean, obviously you know what it means, but I think of Scotty Scheffler all the time when you bring that up, because he is moving his feet everywhere, Jay. If you were to watch him and you didn't know who he was, you'd be like, dude, you got it all wrong. But for some reason, the club face is perfect when he actually makes contact.
It's all about the impact angle. I mean, I took a lesson from Jack Grout, who was basically blind. He's Nicklaus's teacher, and he could tell me where the ball was going and the height of the ball. And I finally turned to him and I'm like, "Coach, how do you know that?" And he goes, "I can tell by the sound. Now let's get back to work." But it's all about your impact angle and the repetitiveness of the golf swing. I mean, Augusta, Tom and I were talking in the lobby. Augusta, I would bet you more money. I'd bet you $1,000 I could shoot even par back in my day at Augusta easier than Pine Valley.
Why?
Because you hit it off the map at Pine Valley, you're looking at double bogey. You can hit it off the map at Augusta and still have a shot. You might not be able to make birdie, but you can get it around the green or near the green.
Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's 4 left-handers that have won the Masters, and I believe that the higher you can hit your irons and regulate your speed of your putts. Tiger was probably the greatest. Mr. Nicklaus, he won 6 times in a span of 32 years. Tiger won 5 times in a span of 22 years. Palmer won it 4 times in 6 years. That's pretty cool as well. But Augusta, if I took Tom, who's a 8 handicap, from the members' tees, which is 6,300, back when my lowest score from the members' tees was 68, my lowest score from the tournament tees was even par. But the tournament tees was 7,200. Now it's 7,500. But these guys just bomb it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot about shot making. If you got to be able to move it both ways at Augusta National. You got to have nerves of steel. You can't panic, and you can't make more than bogey.
Who's got it? Who do you like right now?
Well, if I may say so, I did make a couple wagers online, and I am taking Lucas Glover to finish in the top 10.
Okay.
Okay. I'm taking Angel Cabrera,
Yeah.
the Duck, who I've played with before, to make the cut and finish in the top 25.
See, this is your problem. You gamble with your heart too much. But go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. I put only $20 that Bernard Longer makes the cut again.
He's doing good. He's looking good
Okay.
so far. Okay.
I've got 20 that Fred Couples makes the cut
By the way,
again.
Lucas Glover right now is 5 over. After
Oh, there's $20 out the window.
Who's your other pick?
Well, Angel,
All right, well, I won't bust your.
okay, so then
He's actually dead last right
No.
Angel is.
No, Lucas
Oh.
Lover. Yeah.
Everybody loves Scheffler. In my heart, I would love to see Rory win to
Yeah.
complete the Grand Slam. But I do have some live players that I like. I
got DeChambeau as a dark horse.
Yeah.
I
like
do. I do. I have another little small wager, $10 that Phil makes the cut.
You're crazy.
But one day, basically, it all starts tomorrow afternoon. You got to make the cut, and then Saturday's moving day, and then Sunday's nerve day. If you're within 6 shots before when you tee off on Sunday, and you can get it rolling, everything can happen. And you guys know the last 2.5 hours on Sunday afternoon has got to be the most exciting 2.5 hours of any golf tournament in any year.
Thank you, guys.
My pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
dismount.
can you guys
We're gonna-
promise
and
me one thing for
What?
our tournament
Sure.
this year?
What?
Will you at least go out and
Practice?
practice?
We got a show tomorrow at
promise
the at an indoor facility. We're going to do that. It's him. I'm going to be getting my swings in. This guy.
I mean, does your listening audience know how good you guys are?
At putt.
Put it this way, the 2 million listeners out there, Benny and Rob can bomb it. But when Tom and I play with them, we bring a pack of hunting dogs with us to help find their golf ball. Hey, thanks for having me.
I love that. Perfect.